Sitting down, hanging out with Dayton volleyball today, as we're thrilled to welcome Alyssa Miller. Alyssa, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
First question is no doubles for 2024. With the rule change, I just want to get your thoughts on this, because you want to talk about things that impact you. You got to be thrilled, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of pressure off my back. Can kind of just throw that thing up there, but has its perks and its downfalls. I definitely enjoy it since I don't have to really worry about doubles anymore. But sometimes on the other side of the net, like just pure instinct, if somebody doubles the ball, I'm just like, call it.
Well, and you bring up an interesting point in that what the time that you've put in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, I don't have to worry about it anymore. Like, how much work goes into that craft? Because I'm sure there's practice,
mm-hmm.
and then there's just trying to get that down to a science where you don't have to worry about it for games.
I spent my whole freshman year working on not doubling, so it's a lot of effort for it to just kind of go away. But it's still going to definitely be a focus for a lot of coaches, because you have to finish even to have like really precise location. So not doubling isn't exactly just like gone. You can't just like kind of like really chuck it out there. You still have to be able to really focus your hands on stuff. So it's not going to be to the point where every single ball is spinning, but there's going to be more spins. So. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned your freshman year, and obviously now your senior year, growth. It is just from where I sit and watching your
mm-hmm.
games. I thought last year you took such a big step, and that was a huge reason for the team's success, and sort of doubling on how much you worked and sort of perfecting your craft. Just for the fans out there. Talk a little bit about your growth, because I'm interested to hear it from your own perspective of the time and the energy that I'm sure that you've put in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had kind of like a pretty rough growth session from freshman year to now. I really struggled my freshman year, and the only way I really could have gotten through that was with all my teammates. They really supported me all throughout that. And like they really pushed me to be better throughout all of my struggles, and throughout all that growth, all I felt was just complete and utter support from my teammates and my coaches, and that kind of pushed me to finally get the confidence in myself to just kind of say, like, let's go, I need to do this, and kind of just strive forward, if that makes sense.
The satisfaction of being out there performing at a high level. Last year you'd lead the Atlantic 10 in assists. You'll go back and you'll say, wow, that was a tough time, but it feels so much better now. Mm-hmm. Was that kind of a feeling for you in what you were able to accomplish last year, and then setting yourself up for this year and just sort of knowing your value on this team?
Our work from last year, I think a lot of our work was put in through the spring and the summer, and our relationships really grew throughout that spring and the summer, from not going to the NCAA tournament at all to making to the second round, being ranked. That growth really went in from the moment we lost to the moment that we got into conference, into playing Western Kentucky that first game. I think everybody realizes that they all have a really, really big part on this team, and we all just kind of try and support each other no matter what. We have a saying on our team called Mudita, so it's pretty much being happy for the person in front of you. And if I were, knock on wood, to go down today, then I know that Brooke Nichols would go up and I would support her 100 times. I know she supports me 100 times. So the value on this team is definitely it's definitely something that you can't do without each other. So I don't feel like, obviously I'm the starting setter, but I don't feel that value without my teammates supporting me.
Well, and then also I look back to your freshman year, your sophomore year, and that's kind of like the staple of like Dayton volleyball because of the person that's in front of you. How important were some of those, I guess, mentors, so those folks to where, you weren't the starter, but you're looking and working side to side, and sort of that relationship and its importance?
Oh, it was super important. Livy Sant, she really pulled us along. She pulled Brooke and I along. Even though Brooke and I weren't playing at the time, Livy would help us and talk us through what we needed to do on the mob side, on the other side of the court. And it was super important. Even if it wasn't Livy, it was the other defenders helping us with defense. It was the other servers, the other middles helping us with serving or blocking or something like that. But everybody is a mentor on our team. Every upperclassman is a mentor to somebody in a different position, a different skill, everything like that.
You talk about the team and it being a tight unit. You're from Overland Park, Kansas. It's not one of those hop in the car and you're just across the state line. I mean, it's a legit 9-hour trip. And sort of your journey, not being next door, how much more of a factor does that play into things of your relationship with your teammates?
I actually wanted to kind of get away from Kansas. That was part of my recruiting process. I pretty much told my mom that I didn't want to be anywhere in Kansas or Missouri. And she was like, fine, like, I want you to go far. I want you to take your steps away from here. And I was glad to do so, but I didn't really understand what that meant until I got here. And it made me realize like how much this team, this family is more important, because these are like my sisters, my family, like everybody around me. So these are my best friends. So they're my home away from home. And it just makes that bond even stronger.
That bond, you can see it out on the floor. We were chatting before this interview, and somebody had said, you have to ask Alyssa about her celebration. And I think that's another great thing about watching your team, is because everybody sort of has their own thing, and you can obviously tell that you're having fun out there. Talk about your celebration and then how it sort of came about.
If you're talking about the catwalk, is that what people are talking about? I know it. Oh my gosh. It kind of came about mostly blocking. I was really mad. We were losing and I didn't really feel like celebrating, so I kind of just walked off and it kind of just became a thing. So, yeah. And I found out after the game that people loved it, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep on doing it.
Amongst the fans, the other people, here you are in your senior year. You've been able to go to different venues, play volleyball at a high level. How special is the Frericks Center? Is it unique? I mean, for fans that get to watch it here, they might not get to experience it at other places. Just sort of describe your time and that energy when you're out there with your sisters.
Frericks is truly a special place because of the fans, because of the environment that the team has created. Like, being out there, there's no better feeling. My favorite part of a game day is going through that tunnel, and when the lights are off and when they're calling everybody's names, and watching our hype video with everybody out there. It's a universal experience just because it's not only us playing, but we're all out there watching the exact same thing, experiencing the exact same thing together. And knowing that these fans have come to support us is phenomenal. Like, it's my favorite thing in the world.
You have a lot of unfinished business to do. I know the focus is completely on volleyball, but it being your senior year, what is sort of your plan moving down the road? Do you want to stay involved in volleyball?
I do. My plan after finishing collegiate volleyball is to go on to play pro, preferably overseas for a couple years. it's always been a dream of mine to play over in Europe or in Asia, something like that. I've always wanted to ever since I was a kid, and I want that dream to continue.
And it's cool because one of your former teammates is doing that right now, and you get a chance to maybe follow and get Amelia Moore?
Amelia Moore.
Where's she at?
She's in France. She plays for a club called Béziers, and Béziers Angels, and she had just gotten there 2 weeks ago, and she's been keeping me updated on all the coaches, what the other players think, her experience and everything like that, and she loves it so far.
That's really, really cool. Let's focus our attention on this year's team and sort of what excites you about this unit as you embark on hopefully what's a special season.
I think the thing that excites me most about this team is that we have so much potential. We have so much depth in every single position. And we all love each other and we all support each other so much. And there's just so much to go off of from last year. And we're all very motivated to get to further, like to finish that unfinished business, to do something that we've never done to make history. And I think that there's no better team to do that than with this one.
As a setter, you mentioned Amelia Moore and now playing professionally. You have to come into this role of finding that spot for those other hitters. Mm-hmm. How long does that take?
It takes as much work as you're willing to put in. If you're willing to just kind of go in and say that I'm just going to try and put up a hittable ball, that works, but you're not really going to be able to get to know your hitter's rhythm, their flow, everything like that. With Amelia Moore, how she got to be at the end of the game, if she was tired, how much would I have to change her set, stuff like that. It's a two-sided thing. The hitters have to let you know what they want, and I kind of have to cater to them. So depending on where the ball is, it really just depends on how much you work on it and how much you fine-tune it in your brain.
From the fans' perspective, is it as easy as sort of riding a bike with now like Lexi and Taylor of knowing where they're at mm-hmm. and where you're going to put that ball?
I would say, yeah, it's kind of like riding a bike. A little bit longer of a process. First couple months are a little like, okay, let's figure out this rhythm, everything like that. End of the month is probably like fine tuning. Do you want the higher or lower? I know your rhythm, so I probably know every single set that you want. At this point in my career, if I set a ball, I know exactly what's wrong with it. I know exactly what hitters, what want what, and but it's not always like that. Freshman year, I had no idea what hitters wanted. So it's definitely a process.
When you set a ball and you know it's good, is that the best feeling for volleyball? For you? It's
a very satisfying feeling, especially when the ball doesn't come out with any spin. No doubles. And when it doesn't come out with spin and it's just perfectly located, I feel like I feel like, I don't even know how to describe it. I would say that it's just like, I feel like I'm just like given something to the hitters and I'm just like, go get it. I don't even know how to describe it.
The gift that keeps on giving.
I guess so.
A point. We've seen a lot of them. We look forward to seeing more. Alyssa, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
For more information, anything Dayton Flyers, you go online, DaytonFlyers.com. Follow us on social media at Dayton Flyers.